So, guys, I was reading through the book of First Samuel chapter 30, and I came across a very, very interesting story. This story ministered to my spirit, and I want to share it with you guys. Let me read the book of First Samuel chapter 30, verse 8. David asked the Lord, "Shall I go after those raiders, and will I catch them?" He answered, "Go after them, you will catch them and rescue the captives." Let's go to verse 18. David rescued everyone and everything the Amalekites has taken, including his two wives. Nothing at all was missing. David got back all his men, sons, and daughters, and all the loot the Amalekites had taken. He also recovered all the flocks and herds. His men drove all the livestock in front of them and said, "This belongs to David." Do you understand what that Bible verse just taught us? Now, David went to war. Upon arrival, David and his men found out that the Amalekites had come to raid the place, and they took every single one of their families as captives. They even took their livestock. His soldiers were so sad that they started crying. They were rolling on the floor. They were pissed off. They were really bitter. But David did not start pursuing the Amalekites immediately. Do you know why? Because he was a man of God. David had to ask God, "Shall I pursue them?" Mind you, David came back after a battle. He was pained as much as every other soldier that was with him. But David did not make a rash decision to just go and start pursuing them. He had to seek for the face of God first before he did any other thing. And after God told him, "Go, you will recover all," David went and he won the battle. Let me tell you something. If as a Christian, you put God last, it is after you have tried everything and it did not work. You now go to God and say, "God, I'm requesting for this. Please give me." My dear, you are getting it wrong. You should seek for God in every single phase of your life. In every single decision that you are about to make, seek for God's guidance. You are not just the ordinary person anymore. You are his child. And I believe that when we are much more younger, when we are still under our parents, before we made any decision, we had to, of course, ask our parents for it. We had to ask for permission to go out. We had to ask for permission to do one thing or the other because we were under them. So, my dear, if you, as a daughter or son of God, does not seek permission or ask for his opinion before doing certain things, then you are no longer his child. You just left him aside. Then where is the proof that God is your father? If you can't talk to him when you're going through anything. My dear, it is important that you put God first before every other thing, before you do anything important, before you move out of your old house to a new place, before you get a car, before you change your job, before you change your career, before you get married, you have to pray. Is this God timing? Is it God's will? Is it what he wants for me? You have to seek for God. You have to seek for his opinion in your matter because God knows you before you were born. And God knows what will happen tomorrow. You cannot see tomorrow. You can't even see the next second. Can you? You can't see. The only thing you know is now. But God can see your tomorrow. God can see your next week. God can see your next year. God knows the day you are going to die. He's the best one to direct you. He knows that if you should move out of that place, it might not be good for you. So it's best to seek the will of God in every matter. Put God first. Don't put God last. Don't go ahead and move out of that place, or you go ahead and get that new job, or you go ahead and rent the apartment, and after things start going south, you now go back and start praying to God and start asking Him to deliver you and help you. But before you made that decision, you did not seek the face of God. You did not ask Him what He wanted. You did not ask Him if it was His will. And this is how devil gets a lot of Christians. He will push you to make bad choices. And it is only when you start getting the consequences of those things, you come back to God and start praying for deliverance. But before you went out to make that decision, you did not request for the face of God. My dear, learn to put God first. David was in pain. David was angry. Everything in him wanted to go out to pursue the Amalekites and take back what they had taken from him. But he did not do so. He refrained himself and he had to ask God for permission first. Because God could see the future and God could help him win. If he had gone without God, who knows? The Amalekites might have defeated him and even taken him captive. So, my dear, today's message is for you to put God first in every single thing that you do, even in the smallest matter. Balaam said something, and that thing was stuck in my head. I don't know if you're familiar with the story of Balaam and Balak, but Balak wanted Balaam to curse the Israelites. But Balaam told Balak, he said, I will not disobey God even in the smallest matter. That particular word has been stuck in my head ever since I came across that Bible verse. My dear, you have to obey God even in the smallest matter, even down to a party you want to attend. And he says, my dear, sit back at home. Don't go anywhere. You must obey him because he knows what is going to happen if you should step out of that house and attend that party. Trust and obey God. Trust and obey him. That is all you need to be happy in Jesus. Just trust and obey him. Put your worries before God. Seek for him first before anything. Don't put him last. Let him be the one to guide you, and trust me, your life will be so easy, so stress-free, so enjoyable, no drama. I am serious. When you put God first, enjoyment galore. You are not even going to get stressed because before you do anything, God already knows what you want to do. And he knows if he's going to favor you or not. So if you tell God and he says go ahead, then you are certain that all is well. You don't stress. But if you go there blind, guess what? You might end up failing. So my dear, put God first. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my very next one. Bye.